that we come into being and flourish in relationship, and that being of and with each other logically and morally leads to being for each other in real and mutually rewarding ways. Indeed, the principle and practice of unity cultivates in a sense of oneness with and urgent responsibility to each other, our people, humanity, and the world. And it is a sense of the unity and interrelatedness of life and being that obligates and urges us to respect and promote the sacred and the transcendent, the rights and dignity of the human person, the value and integrity of the environment, the well-being and flourishing of family and community, the value and integrity of the environment, and the reciprocal solidarity and cooperation of humanity for common good. And it's cultivation of our sense of oneness in and with the world that makes us ever conscious of our obligation to care for the environment as sacred space, to treasure all life in all its forms, and to be thankful in practice and preserve and promote the health, the well-being, and flourishing of the world in all its holiness and wholeness. Self-determination. It obligates us to respect our own particular way, cultural way of being human in the world, to insist always on respect for them and ourselves, and to avoid self-deforming and dignity-denying imitation of others. Moreover, this principle and practice of self-determination obligates us to define ourselves by the dignity-affirming ways we walk and work in the world. It tells us to name ourselves in reverent respect for identity as bearers of dignity and divinity. And it calls on us to create for ourselves in the good-producing and world-preserving ways of our ancestors. And finally, it calls for us to speak for ourselves in ways that reveal our rootedness in and respect for our history and our highest values. Third, Ujima. Collective work and responsibility. The principle that encourages us to commit ourselves to work and struggle to build a caring family, the moral community, the just society, and the good world we all want and deserve to live in. It teaches us to constantly search for and sustain common ground in our best of our moral value, to engage in cooperative projects for the common good, and to assume personal and collective responsibility for each other, the community, society, and the world. And this is the meaning of the principle's emphasis on building and maintaining our community together and making our sisters and brothers' problems our problem and solving them together. Next. Fourth principle, Ujamaa. Cooperative economics. It is a principle and practice of shared work and shared wealth in the world. It calls for and cultivates economic practices which demonstrate due respect for the dignity and life-affirming necessity of work, the right to a life of dignity and decency, and thus a right to an equitable share of goods and good in the world. Inherent in this concept of Ujamaa, which literally means familyhood, is a commitment to the unity and kinship of peoples and the world. Indeed, Kwanzaa and Nguzo Saba offer the practice and promise of the harvest as lessons in how we are to live our lives together, plan and cultivate and create good together, and then share the abundance in just and equitable ways. Moreover, a project of cooperative creation and sharing of good, Ujamaa seeks just treatment and benefits for workers, and egalitarian distribution of wealth in the world, due consideration, care, and support for the vulnerable, and profound respect for the environment that protects it from mindless and market-driven consumerism and ensures its plunder, pollution, and depletion against our interests. Nia is the fifth principle. Nia. Purpose. It speaks to us of our collective vocation to do good in the world, for the world, and to restore our people to their traditional greatness defined by the good we create and to do in the world. For surely it is written in the Hosea, the sacred text of ancient Egypt, that the wise are known by their wisdom, but the great are known by their good deeds. So if we say we want to return our people to their traditional greatness, it's so that they can do good in and for the world and not let any good be lost. It's not a greatness that lords over other people. It's not a greatness measured in scientific advancement and military capacity to kill. It is a greatness that is rooted in serving the interests of humanity and the world. That is why Martin Luther King said everybody can be great, because everybody can serve. I'm saying it. That is why the Hussein said, what are the ways to measure your moral capacity and your moral status? It's how you serve others. So it says service is central to living a moral life. Serve God that he may protect you. Serve your brothers and sisters that you may be respected for it. Serve a wise person so he or she may teach you wisdom. Serve one who serves you. Serve anybody so you can benefit from it. And serve your mother and father so you can go forth and prosper. Kumba, creativity. That's a beautiful one, isn't it? To do always as much as we can in the way we can, in order to leave our community and by extension the world more beautiful and beneficial than we inherited. It is this principle and practice, brothers and sisters, that we reaffirm the ancient African ethical commitment to constantly heal, repair, and transform the world, which is called Saruj Ta. Saruj Ta. Saruj means to repair, to remake, to remute, to renew, to transform, make it more beautiful and beneficial than you inherited. And Ta means both the earth and the world. See, one of the things, I wish I had more time. One of the things is this. The word Ta in ancient Egyptian means both earth and world. And we have two identities. We're earthly, but we're also world beings. We're human beings, but guess what? We're world beings. Swahili has a word. One of the few languages that has a word for world being. Imlimwengu or Walimwengu. A world being. Think about that. What does it mean to be a world being? And what does it mean to be elders of humanity? People who stood up first and spoke the first human being. Organized basic disciplines of human knowledge in the Nile Valley. Right? That survived in the worst and most inhuman situation you can imagine. The epitome of unfreedom. For people to stand out and declare, I will be free. And to walk away from the plantation. And not to just individually escape. This is a lesson from Harriet Tubman. She doesn't define freedom as individual escape. She refuses to accept that. She's not looking for a comfortable place in a prison. She believes that freedom is a collective concept. That's why she said when I stepped across the line, I felt good. Because I felt free. My hands looked new, man. My legs and feet felt new. The sun was coming off through the trees and turning the leaves golden. And I felt like I was in heaven. She said, but then I became sad. Because all the people I loved were back there on the plantation. And said, then she recognized she could not be free without them. So at that moment, she redefined freedom from individual escape to the collective practice of self-determination in and for community. So she did what we must do. Turn back around and face the oppressor. And go in the midst of his camp. Turn his table over. Put a new agenda of freedom on the table. Beautiful. We have to rebuild the world. And we have to think about the conclusion after we've eaten. So I know how important material basis of life is. But I want us to see that the reparations is a healing of ourselves in the process of repairing the world that injures and oppresses us. You will never be repaired. See, reparation means repairing of a gross and grievous injury. Right? And the Holocaust of enslavement. By Holocaust, I mean a morally monstrous act of genocide that is not only against the targeted people, but also a crime against humanity. Right? And it expresses itself in three basic ways. The morally monstrous destruction of human life, the morally monstrous destruction of human culture, and the morally monstrous destruction of human possibility. Now, given that, you can't take money for it. You if you get money, but you can't see that as the solution in its totality, right? Then there's subsequent oppression, right? Ill-gotten gains and segregation and Jim Crow and just murder in the streets. Right? Somebody has to pay for that. So then we have to ask ourselves, though, who's going to do these reparations? And we must repair ourselves in the process of holding the white men accountable.
Come on now.
I'm not going to get away from that.
That's it.
But also holding ourselves accountable for the life we want to live. We say that two kinds of responsibility. Listen, the oppressor is responsible for our oppression, but we're responsible for our liberation.
That's it.
So we hold him responsible for our oppression.
That's it.
But to free ourselves, we have to do more.
That's right.
And we have to imagine a whole new world, black people. And we have to see ourselves, remember this, as injured physicians. When we're talking about repairing, healing, right? We have to be the physicians.
That's it.
Now, why do I choose injured physician? Injured because I believe with all our heart in our people, our parents, our teachers, our leaders, and the righteousness and victory of our struggle. To believe in ourselves, black people. To believe in our Creator. To believe in our mothers, our fathers, our sisters, our brothers, our grandmothers, and grandfathers, our elders, our youth, our future. Faith in all that makes us beautiful and strong. And faith in the righteousness and victory of our cause. Faith that through hard work, long struggle, and a whole lot of love and understanding, that we can again step back on the stage of human history as a free, proud, and productive people. So I say to you what the ancestors say each day to me. Continue the struggle. Keep the faith. Hold the line. Love our people and each other. Seek and speak truth. Do and demand justice. Be constantly concerned with the well-being of the world and all in it. And dare to rebuild an overarching movement. That prefigures and makes possible the good world we all want and deserve to live in. For this is our duty. Would you repeat it after me? To know our past and honor it. To engage our present and improve it.